This is Politics as Usual. I'm Pia Ontiveros. Pangasinan's 1st Congressional District is being contested by two men whose families have long been on the province's political map. On one hand, a member of the Celeste clan, and on the other, an Orbos who married into the Colette family. But there's a twist. The Celeste 1st Congressional District candidate's brother has been linked by President Duterte to the drug trade. Tim Orbos, former MMDA General Manager, now running for the 1st District of Pangasinan. Sir, thank you very much for being with us. Well, let's begin with your rival, Arnold.
Okay, yes.
Noli Celeste, who is incumbent mayor of Bolinao, Pangasinan, one of the towns in your district, 1st District, no? Who, by the way, declined our invitation because he said he has a very busy schedule. I mean, what is it about interviews that some politicians don't like? But you don't have to, don't bother answering that question. That question isn't for you. You want to challenge him for this position. Why?
Well, any healthy democracy would allow a challenge. I think that's very basic. And given the fact that their family has stayed there over 18 years, 24 years to be exact, even being as a mayor, then I guess even looking at that in general, that's democracy for you. But the thing is, personally, what can I do for my district, for our district? And the district has been kind to us. It has given us a good name with my brother as congressman before. And just like any politician for that matter, but just like any citizen for that matter, resident for that matter, I would like to contribute something to the district.
Okay, we'll get into more detail for all of that in just a bit. But this is going to be, of course, your first foray into electoral politics, even if you've been in the executive,
Yes,
in the MMD.
definitely,
and the
yes,
DOTC,
my first time.
Okay. You have this smile on your face.
Well, it's...
Kasi by the time the second time comes around, baka hindi ka na nakangiti, ganun ba?
Ibang-iba. From what you see outside, it's totally different when you're part of it already.
Okay. Well, like you mentioned, 18 or 24 years, Celeste is an old name in Pangasinan politics. Three of them ba? How many are they? There is Noli, no, the mayor of Bolinao, like we mentioned, who is running against you.
Then and Arthur Celeste is running for governor. Boying Celeste is the incumbent congressman, and then several other relatives, brothers. And,
Arthur Celeste, Alaminos City Mayor, running for governor.
Yes.
This is the what? The brother?
The brother.
Of
Noli. Noli, and the brother of the incumbent congressman.
Yung incumbent congressman, of course, is Jesus Celeste.
Yes.
Right? But he's on his 3rd term, right? Then that's why he's not running. Okay, so parang mag-musical chairs lang sila. Parang mana-mana lang ang opposition. Ganun ba yun?
Ganun po. Kaya nga ho, I think it's also... they should not take offense in other people running in the district. No? And the thing is, we're not saying I can do more, we can do more, but the mere fact that there's so much work to be done requires other people to look into it and try to help out.
Yeah. Pero hindi ba normally and this is no different from many other political families in many other districts all over the country. Once they graduate from a certain position, like ito ngang si Jesus as a 3rd-term congressman, they usually run for another position. So, bakit siya? Hindi na siya tumakbo sa ibang position?
Hindi ko po alam, but yes, although it was expected that he would run, but hindi na siya tumakbo.
As what, sana?
Ang narinig ho namin, he would be the one running for Alaminos City Mayor.
Okay. All right.
And then the one running now is the nephew.
Okay. Well, Jesus has made headlines recently because President Duterte, in a command conference just a few weeks back, read his name out as supposedly that belongs on a so-called narco list.
Yes, siya po yun. Yes.
Okay. What is the drug situation ba in the 1st District of Pangasinan?
Well, yun na nga. I mean, let's give it to the president. May alam siya, and that should be something for us to be worried about. So regardless whether it has been cleared on a regional level, because yun na sinasabi nila on a regional level, we're supposed to be drug-free. But then again, you have the president making that announcement. And this announcement has been there since he took office. So for the past 3 years, we have been, the district has been named as a kasama po sa drug list na yan. And that should be a cause for alarm.
Well, do you have details as to why the district is on the drug list?
I am not privy po to that, but of course.
But you do have information. I'm sure you've heard of things, no?
Yeah, we've heard of things. Well, the biggest catch, if I may, yung pinakamalaking huli, I think until now, is the one in Infanta, Pangasinan. So,
Which is one of the towns in your district.
Yes,
Yeah. Which is what happened there?
May nakuhang mga drums of shabu at that time. This was during the time of, I think, President Estrada. The thing is, we have to remember yung district ko po, or district namin, it's the one closest, well, to the South China Sea. It's really part of the South China Sea. It's very permeable. Talagang pwede kang pumasok in and out. Hindi mo matitrace eh. So I guess the natural environment there is really attractive to all sorts of smuggling, drugs in particular.
Since my assumption in 2016, I have committed to eradicate the drug problem. I've done that. My decision to unmask these drug personalities was anchored on my trust in the government agencies who have vetted and validated the narco list. Validated narco politicians. Jesus Celeste, your name pops up every year.
How does it help? Does it help you that the president himself, who does support you, mentioned the name of your rival? I'm sorry, not your rival, but the brother of your rival.
Hindi naman siguro the point that it will help my campaign, but because the president had a different reason for doing that, I am sure. But it should make the district think, the people think on why these two are correlated and why are we here. Ako nga ho, and I think it's even scarier at this point to know that you have an opponent that has all these activities, and if ever that's but that's the president talking already. So if he has all this kind of this so-called information or about this person, it really makes you think. But then again, ba't ka naman titigil just because they have their so-called strength? I think all the more that we should fight it out.
Okay.
And even for him to prove himself right or wrong, that's up to him.
Okay, but this is the brother of your opponent. What about your
Yes.
opponent?
My opponent, he's met him once or twice. Ano naman eh. I mean, politically,
Walang links. In other words, there is no other Celeste who is on the narco list.
as far as I know, wala. As far as I know, wala.
Okay. However, kanina na nga, we like you said, no, 18 to 24 years,
Yes.
the Celestes have been in power. But, and here, but, Orbos is also an old name in Pangasinan politics. Like we all know about your older brother, Oscar Oca Orbos, former congressman, former governor, executive secretary to Cory Aquino a long time ago. So, hindi rin naman kayo bago, no, sa politika sa Pangasinan.
Well, totoo naman po yun, but I guess it's that the times are so different right now from the time my brother was running. I think especially in my where I'm running right now, we'd like to bring it back to really a program-based campaign rather than yung so-called the 3Gs as they call it.
Okay.
So what can I do for my district? What will I do for my district? Di ba? That should be the theme of the campaign rather than what can you get now? Ano mabibigay ko sa iyo ngayon? Rather than that. Let's go on what can I give you within the next 3 years?
We're going to go into that in just a bit, but we're going to have to take a short break. Politics as usual. We'll be right back. We are with Tim Orbos. Be right back. Welcome back. This is Politics as Usual. We're speaking to Tim Orbos. He's a former general manager of the MMDA, but he's running now for the first district of the first congressional district of Pangasinan, running against a whole army of Celeste family members. GM Orbos, kanina napag-usapan natin na nga your brother Oca Orbos. And I've heard you several times say that you are returning to your district. You said that earlier, you've said that in other interviews. But is it also, in a way, actually trying to reclaim your family's former seat of power, in a way.
In a
Take
way,
it
yes.
neutrally, ha? It's not necessarily a negative thing.
Yes,
It's not necessarily
I will
a
not deny
positive
that. I
thing,
mean, that's what's
Yeah.
happening. So
Yeah.
that's how it is. But more um, we'd like to give back something to the district. It's romantic, as you may say, but it's the truth.
Yeah,
I mean,
and there are things you want to do, which we'll
yes,
talk about in just a bit.
yes.
Like I was saying, very interesting, by the way. But you also, speaking of family, no, you also have ecclesiastical connections. The famous Father
Yeah,
Jerry Orbos. He
Yeah, we
never
all-
speaks to you about you working very closely with President Duterte, about you running and being supported by the president.
No,
No.
that's something that he respects, and
Yeah.
that I give him that.
Oh, and there are things sometimes no, that family members don't need to talk about.
Yes.
Para bang nagkaintindihan na lang kayo.
Saka in a general way, I mean, taking out the drug menace in the country has proven the president right, and I think my brother sees that as well. So.
Okay. But it isn't just the Orbos name, which is a powerhouse, so-called, in Pangasinan politics, because you married into the Colette family. Your wife is the daughter of a former governor of the province, right?
Yes, yes.
Rafael.
Opo,
Tama?
yes,
Rafael Colette. Di ba?
Yes, yes po.
Yeah. So it's like two big families, former political families that are behind your bid for the first
both
district
of them,
Congress.
both of them were not really enthusiastic about my entering
Talaga?
politics. So,
Yeah.
but when ngayon, that of course they're very behind me, and I think it's not about really reclaiming, but
Giving back, like you
giving
said.
back
Oh. But
more than
why weren't they
anything else.
enthusiastic about it? What didn't they like?
Because of
Because they know what it's like?
Yeah, the realities of politics.
Yeah.
Even from the onset, alam mo na yan na pera and everything, and you can just really think about it until you're there. And totoo pala, grabe. No, but I give more trust to the people. Of course, mas madami pa rin yung naniniwala sa tamang ginagawa
Yeah.
rather than yung
Oo.
napapasama na lang.
Oo. So what is the difference now? You're all old names in Pangasinan politics. There's Celeste, Orbo, and then versus, in a way, no? Orbos and Colette. No? If you were to draw a very clear line, what would be the main difference?
I will not dwell on their side. That's
Yeah,
for them
sa
to.
inyo.
Sa amin, I guess what we've given is really some. I mean, it's not because ako to and I'm telling people about our name, but
Yeah.
I think we've given enough honor and respect to the work that we did. Probably we don't have as much, material wealth as they do, but I think the honor and respect of what we can do, not just for Pangasinan, but for the country, as proven by my brother and my father-in-law. It's something that that's why you're in politics,
Yeah.
isn't it? To really give work, and that work should be respected and honorable, not to be found on another list that
Right.
you have scandal or anything.
Right.
To provide honor to the people who have given you that vote, I think is more important than anything
You're talking
else.
about integrity.
Yes.
Okay. Kanina, like we said, no, GM of MMDA. And then a lot of people will say, okay, anong gagawin niya? I mean, yung experience niya
Yes.
in the executive is as MMDA general manager. What is it in your being MMDA GM that you can bring to the first district of Pangasinan and, well, to the entire
Well,
province of
very
Pangasinan?
true. I've seen, being a congressman, you're supposed to do good work in Congress, but at the same time, you should do something for a district that they can feel. Not the infrastructure that is so common right now with all districts, but what can they feel? And I guess, yung experience ko po sa MMDA, having taken care of all the administrative requirements of Metro Manila, basura, tubig, walang tubig, kalye, and all of that, put them in one district. And the thing is, one town cannot stand alone for all the problems that they have. Problema ng basura, problema ng tubig, problema ng kuryente. So I was thinking while going around is to create a sort of a MMDA from my experience there and come out with a Western Pangasinan Development Authority that should take care of basic services. At the same time, move forward, let's say tourism. Our district, it's not because it's our district that I'm saying this, it's really the most beautiful district, probably the richest district as far as Pangasinan is concerned. You've got all the nice beaches there. It's not only 100 islands. You've got
All 9 out of 10 towns, no?
Yes,
Are coastal
are
towns.
coastal.
Okay.
But then again, you begin to realize, ba't ang mahal ng isda? It's one of the most expensive food items because of certain things that had been neglected. Ang daming fish cages. And you have all the fish kills every year. There should be a regulatory authority that should look at that district-wide.
Western Pangasinan
Yes,
Development
Development
Authority. I thought it was going to be the Lingayen Gulf.
Well, but that would encompass other provinces na. And that should include La Union.
Yeah.
And
In other words, something that will integrate literally everything. No?
take care of basic services, but at the same time, look forward to a bigger scope of things like tourism. And then how to manage, we've got a lot of minerals there, and daming mining, and not even black sand and iron ore, a lot. You've got nickel and all of that. So who's going to take care of that from a district-wide scope?
Okay. Well, how are you going to work with the provincial government? If this is Western Pangasinan, then you have, of course, you have the other districts of Pangasinan. So, paano yun?
It will not be we will not, definitely will still be part of Pangasinan. But taking care of our resources, like putting up an airport there. In fact, Secretary Togadi already mentioned when he was there last week that he's going to fund 2 airports immediately in Pangasinan. The one in the 2nd district. It's there already.
Where? Which town? In the
Lingayen.
Okay.
And then one in our district in Alaminos. So
Wow,
there's really no conflict. In fact, ang ano naman, Pia, kasi the 1st district is the one lagging behind all the other districts. And it has in fact, it's the richest, as I said, but the poorest in terms of the poverty index. So in order for us to really catch up, we need an authority like that to help us.
Airport. So there will be enough land there?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Ano yan? Government land or bibilin?
The Department of Transportation already has around 100+ hectares in the 1st district for an airport.
Wow.
So once you have that, you have yung 100 islands. You have all these other, in fact, there's an even unexplored cave, talagang malalim, that can be
Where
something
there?
in Bani, in my hometown.
Okay.
Similar to the one in Palawan, that's still unexplored. So all these things, imagine if you can have tourism as a one industry that you can promote and then develop. That's going to be good for the residents of the 1st
Unexplored
district.
caves, so pwedeng, boats and then pwedeng i-dive din yun?
Madami pa.
Yeah.
Madami. And,
More? Okay. Yeah.
Kasi, anyway.
Well, I wanted to ask you also about this. You've spoken about this in other interviews. Itong Estrella Bridge dito sa Makati, no, na yung closure niya talagang ikinagagalit ng mga tao. Pero mukhang ang magbe-benefit Pangasinan, your district.
Yes.
How is this going to happen?
December, I was here in Manila. Then yun na nga, yung ingay na gulo na gagawin ng pagtanggal ng bridge na. And I said, why can't we, dito? It's a 7-year-old bridge, Megali. And here we have this island, 36,000 residents, Santiago Island. Hindi walang bridge.
Santiago Island. So it will link which town to?
The mainland of Luzon, in particular Bolinao, and Santiago is part of Bolinao. 7 barangays na talagang hindi na de-develop. You put a bridge there and that will equate
So right
to
now, how do
development.
people go from
A
Bolinao
landing
proper
barge.
to?
It's a
Landing barge. Okay. So yung bridge na sa Estrella, and I don't know, ano ba yung measurements niya? Pwede na yun dun sa
It will
Bolinao
it will
to
not
Santiago.
suffice, but it will definitely take care of a substantial part of the cost.
Okay, so the bridge is going to be dismantled and then transported piece by piece and rebuilt there in...
We've done that already, Pia, before, during the time of my brother and my father-in-law. Nagka-earthquake, you remember, 1991 earthquake. Carmen Bridge was totally...
or 1990.
1990.
July 1990. July 16.
Nasira talaga yun, but we managed to salvage the frame and transfer it to another island town, Anda. And true enough, progress has come to that island because of that one.
Well, anyway, homes have been dismantled and transferred elsewhere, but we need to take a very quick break. Right, welcome back to Politics as Usual. Tim Orbos is our guest. He's running for the 1st district, congressional district of Pangasinan. Sir, itong bridge pala, no, yung sinasabi niyong i-dismantle, Estrella Bridge, Anong kumpanya ang gagawin mo?
Hindi, wala naman ng particular. Ang ginawa lang ho namin doon was really to ask for the bridge.
Okay.
Now,
So parang bahala na
and
ang
then that will-
DPWH. ganun.
DPWH and the province of Pangasinan, the provincial government will handle
take care of that.
Because I'm still a private citizen.
Right,
I'm now a private citizen.
Oo. And you are running with Governor Amado Espino,
Yes, opo.
right? Okay. Let's talk briefly also about one other project of yours, yung free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's 80% of our district walang because mountainous and island barangays, and definitely the signal of the telcos unfortunately are not sufficient. So nakita ko na you will spend if you're looking at the whole district, you'll be spending something like close to 20 million for the whole district for a year. What's 20 million? Then you're giving already something that people can benefit from. I mean, not just tatawagan mo yung kamag-anak mo sa Hong Kong kung meron kang problema, may sakit ka.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the children,
Right,
what
right.
they read is what somebody from the US, somebody from Manila will be reading.
Right. And this will spur economic progress
Yes.
also, no? I mean, a lot of business can be done once people have communications
Yes.
networks.
It's a soft project. I mean, it's not like an infra project that you can see,
Yeah.
but benefit-wise.
The benefits are
yes.
immense, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, in a way, that's power to the people. Speaking of power, there's the power supply, the Suwal power plant also. What do you have in mind for that?
Yun ang nakakatawa. We have the largest power plant in the entire Philippines. That's the one in Sual. And yet, we are not enjoying preferential rates. In fact, sobrang mahal ng kuryente. So, I mean, that should have been done by whoever was sitting there. And all you need to do is ask the Department of Energy for a certain part of that revenue to be trickled down directly to our subscribers.
Who should be doing that? The governor, the congressman, the mayor?
Well, at the end of the day, the congressman who sits, it's not really the work of the congressman,
Right.
that I admit. But it's something that he can do immediately if you're really, they're saying ako daw baguhan. But then, I mean, looking at it immediately, these are the things that you can do. I mean, you've been there for 18 years. What have you done? Yun lang naman ho yun eh. So
Yeah.
it's there for us to do.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to wrap up this interview already. And I wanted to ask you very briefly about these reported threats to your life. Are these to be taken seriously?
Well,
Have these been reported to authorities?
I think naman, Pia, when you enter politics, part of that is there already. And definitely, it's something that you have to take seriously, especially if you're up against an opponent like this. Rightly or wrongly, I'm not saying that they are, but kailangan you have to be extra careful. Ako lang naman, simple. I mean, I'm doing this. I know what I'm getting into. Wag lang yung pamilya ko. That one is something that I don't. But again, it's not something that will stop me from saying what I want to say and what I should say. So that's the reality.
But you do have protection.
Yes, I do. Binigay naman ng ng gobyerno. I mean, as a candidate, they've given you two policemen. But at the end of the day, if somebody wants to take you out, they take you out.
Okay, but this doesn't scare you?
Doesn't
at all?
scare me.
Okay.
In fact, it should even...
Motivate you
Yes.
even more? Final words?
Final words, at the end of the day, we have to do something for... I mean, I always say this, public service is a privilege. I mean, to be there, to work even at least 2 years of your lives. And this is what I tell kids when I'm invited to graduation. Just give 2 years of your lives to public service. It's not even for the people that you will intend to serve, but it's good for you. It's good for the heart. And at the end of the day, I mean, if everyone has that attitude, there's so much work to be done. In fact, elections are just kung pwede lang wala ng eleksyon trabaho na lang kaagad. It's like a fiesta. At the end of the day, at the end of the fiesta season, we're back to the problems that we are supposed to face.
Okay, public service and integrity, good for the heart, good for the soul also.
Yes.
Tim
Yes.
Orbos, former GM of MMDA and running for the 1st Congressional District of Pangasinan. Sir, thank you very much for being with us
Thank you.
on the show.
Thank you po.
Salamat.
Thank you.
Thank you. Like we said earlier, Alaminos Mayor Noli Celeste declined our invitation to come on the show because of his busy schedule. And that's Politics as Usual. I'm Pia Ontiveros.